What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to EDC Hour with Dirk and Alex. How you doing, Alex?
Welcome. I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. Just had a busy weekend. Went to a watch fair, a wind-up event, they call it, out in San Francisco. So I went out there Friday after work, spent the night Friday night, Saturday night, and came back early this morning. So it's been a long weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, why don't you tell everybody what Watch and Wind is?
Basically, it was a it was a wind-up event, which was a bunch of
A
micro
wind up.
brands, kind of like a knife show. Think of the California Custom Knife Show, scaled down a little bit with just micro brands. So Formex was there, Oris was there, Hamilton was there, Astor Banks, Laka, bunch of other companies like that I had never heard of before that had some cool stuff. Got to hook up with my friend Random Rob, my other friend Calico from the Wet Watches channel. So we had a couple of YouTube channels out there, which was fun, and just some other guys local in the Bay Area that came that I've known and had events with before. So yeah, it was a fun time.
Very nice. Very nice.
I see Nav Sergeant's here. I see Tessie Mike is here. Welcome, guys. Stacy, thank you for joining.
So,
What about you? What did you do this weekend?
Wait. So you didn't come home with anything? Huh?
I did not come home with anything. I specifically wasn't looking to go buy anything. I was just going to hang out. Will Carey just joined in, and he was hanging out with us there all weekend.
Nice.
So yeah, it was fun. Will bought a watch. Another local guy in San Francisco bought a watch. My other guy in Vacaville bought a watch. So I think out of our group, Will's friend bought a watch. So I think 4 people bought watches from our little group that met up there.
Nice.
So watches were bought.
Out of those watch people, how many of them were carrying a pocket knife?
Probably just Will and myself. I brought it back up for one of my friends, and he wore it one day, but then he didn't want to wear it the other days. So
nice.
Whatever. I try to be nice and bring extras for people, but if they don't want to wear it, they don't want to carry it. Not my problem. But it was a good time.
Very, very cool. Well, that is very exciting. And so let me ask you, Dirk, what you got in your pocket today?
Today I had, shockingly, I'm sure you're going to be shocked, the VC Edge interface.
What a beautiful knife. Look at that. Is that unidirectional carbon fiber?
Yep.
That's very, very nice.
It's just amazing. And when I showed this to like Will Carey, who's a knife guy, my other buddy Calico, all the people of the show, even Random Rob, who's kind of a knife guy, mainly a watch guy, but he is a knife guy too. They were all just blown away by the interface. I'm still just blown away myself.
That's a very sweet knife. I definitely want to.
You will be checking this one out at some point soon, I am sure, because, well, I have a box of your knives here.
Oh, yeah.
That I am busy frantically filming because nice. I leave to go out of town for like 12 days. So I have to get all banked up. So thanks for setting those up. The unboxing actually goes live after this show. So go check out my main channel for that. But yeah, I'll send this down here soon too, for really get your opinion on it as well.
Sounds good, man. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that was I think that's the biggest box or biggest stack I ever sent you. It was like I loaded that box as far up as I could.
Yeah, there was 18 knives after I opened it. I counted it. So the unboxing goes a little bit long, but you know, it's all right. It's like 12 minutes, but I busted through them pretty quick, and thanks for including a note. That always is helpful. And
it's also the first time I ever did that.
I think it might be the first note you've ever sent also.
Yeah.
So what about you? What did you do this weekend, and what are you carrying?
Well, I was working yesterday and today I just did a bunch of chores. So sometimes on these occasions, I try to carry like the most ridiculous knife I can on Sundays, like something that's like illegal to carry outside somewhere, a gravity knife or like an automatic and all that stuff.
Okay.
Welcome, Hinder Collector 41. Yo, yo.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's on the Knife Junkie podcast a lot.
Yeah, I seen him on Bob's show.
Yeah.
And then but today I just decided that I was gonna carry the custom chupacabra because I really like this knife.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the Damasteel. I think it's called Dropner's pattern or something weird like that. But it's got kind
Hmm.
of a nice swirly pattern. Looks like a twisted bearing kind of deal.
Yeah, that's a beautiful knife. You sent that up to me earlier, and that was very cool. That kind of
Yeah.
turned me on to Old Dominion Knife Works.
Yes. Yeah. I love Casey. He's such a cool dude. Great experience. And actually, this knife is the first custom build I've ever done with anybody. So it's kind of
Oh,
like
that's
one of
right.
those special little knives for me. But he's redone it twice. Before it had a mirror blade, and then now it's got the Damasteel blade, which is a little more durable, I think, in the finish
Hmm.
department.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's cool with the superconductor copper stuff. It tarnishes, and then you put a little polish, and it glows gold again. It's fun material.
that's cool. Yeah, he does some great work.
He
I've had a
really
couple of
does.
his things in from like just different models. I owned a 4-inch chupacabra for a little bit.
I
That
did a
was
video on
cool.
that one.
Yeah.
I still have it up. Yeah, that was a fun one to film. It had some incredibly unique blade steel and
Hmm.
that crazy huge carbon fiber ply was kind of cool too.
Yes. Now Sergeant has a Gooseworks bolster lock with him while he's out of town working.
Nice.
Very
So,
cool.
well, have safe travels while you're out of town and don't get goosenecked.
Oh boy.
I got plenty more where that came from.
Oh, absolutely.
Who else is carrying something? Because I'm gonna gooseneck that one too.
Yeah, what are you guys like? So today we don't have a lot of specific topics. We're just kind of winging it on this episode. We'll have a guest next time, and so we kind of want to just interact with the 5 people that watch every so often, and just see what's up. That's all.
The dad jokes.
Gotta
Oh
have the dad
God.
jokes, man.
Yeah, yeah. You got that right. Hey, casual cutter Tom's here. What's up, homie? Another fun channel. Go check out the casual cutter, guys. He's got a lot of cool stuff. He just got a Roan, very cool knife. It's like a Hinderer on steroids, almost CNC cut blade and everything. Very cool knife. I'm excited to see his video on that.
Nice. And there's a comment here. So Dark Gravity's asking Naf if the gooseneck what was it? Gooseneck?
The gooseneck.
I don't know. The goose
The knife is forever called the gooseneck.
sorry. I'm not even familiar with that knife, but Dark Gravity was asking Naf, and Naf did say that yeah, absolutely it's a great knife.
It is a great knife. It kind of like reminds me a little bit of an Invictus in the
Okay.
way that it looks. Yeah, but it is a cool knife.
And Will Carey has his PM2, which he always has a PM2 almost. That's his main carry. I totally spaced it taking him his box of knives yesterday. So I'm gonna have to ship them down to him, which has another PM2 in it. But yeah.
So does that mean it's a PM2 or a PM3?
Well, it's probably PM12 in Will's world.
I told you, man. You better not call out knives because if you do, you're gonna have one of those.
Oh, that knife that Nav has is made by a watchmaker? I'm not. I'm
Interesting.
legit not even familiar with what it is. We'll have to look it up and see.
Yeah,
I
most
don't know,
definitely.
but
Do a video on it, Naf. And if you did already, I'll go check it out. All right, let's try this one. The CKF Sokusha all weekend long.
I don't know what that one is.
I know what that one is. That's kind of like a big, beefy custom knife factory knife. It's got some interesting designs. Lately, they've been doing these really cool knives. They've been doing like a lot of like mill work inside the hardware. Just these big like keyed type screws. They're not like T screws or anything. It's a lot of weird proprietary stuff that they've been doing. So, and he picked up a box of 50 knives on Friday. Well,
you better get to filming, get to organizing or something. A box of 50, that's a big box. I thought my box of 18 that Alex sent me was a lot. But I've already filmed 4 of them today.
Nice.
Well, no, I filmed 4 videos today. 3 of them were yours.
Nice.
So yeah, I got to get caught up. I leave on Wednesday for Moab, Utah until May 9th. So I have to bank up a bunch of videos.
The K390 Stretch and M4 Little Native. Well, carrying a Little Native all by itself would be a stretch.
Yeah, because that's a small guy. I'm gonna go. What is this? Gooseworks bolster lock. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, bring that up if you can. Oh, and then
I've not heard of it. I'm guessing others haven't either.
Yeah, Tom's Knife is the Marfion collaboration CKF custom. It's pretty cool that they did a collaboration. Tony Marfion and Custom Knife Factory Mike over there. But you know, first time it's happened. I hope it happens again because I think the knife came out pretty cool, and it's a little plain for Marfion and CKF, but not at the same time. I just wish it had a little more je ne sais quoi. Oh yeah, so another nice subject while you bring up the gooseneck. If you guys haven't noticed, I've changed my channel name. Now it's the Watch and Cut channel. And some of you guys might wonder why I changed my name again. And if you've seen the video, you've seen that I'm just trying to appeal to more watch people. And just for the mere fact that, you know, ooh, that's kind of sexy.
That's not the bolster lock one. That's just a regular.
That's right. Resco Instruments. I remember this. Yeah.
But this is just the frame lock version. And I'm guessing that's the right one. If NAF is still watching, but that looks pretty cool.
Click on the watch. I want to see the watches now because I didn't know they made watches. I only know this company for knives.
All right, well, let's go over here and see.
Obviously, I've never been on their
I've never been on
website
their either.
Look at the black frog, man. That's a diver. That's what I'm talking about. I love me a good ooh. That's
what you talking about, Willis?
That looks like a Seiko Sport 5.
Right?
Wow. Oh, but you know what? It looks like it's all ceramic though.
Stainless steel PVD coated 200 meter.
Okay.
ETA 2824.
It's a quartz. It's an ETA self-winding.
Yeah, self-winding with a quartz battery. I'm not sure what that. I don't understand.
Yeah, maybe it's optional.
42 millimeter. So it's like an SKX. Like it legit looks like an SKX. A little bit. The case is a little bit different shape, but
it does.
Oh, you can pick. So there's a quartz movement and there's the ETA movement. So the ETA one is $2,100.
And a quartz is 19. I would love to know what quartz movement that is because it doesn't really specify.
I'd like to know why it's $2,000.
Well, yeah, like that's why I'm
because
not
that
trying to.
doesn't make any sense to me.
No, no.
I don't know if anybody watching knows anything about it. That'd be great. Nav says they only made 10 of the bolster locks, but it's the same knife as what we showed, but a bolster lock version. Very
Yeah,
cool.
I
I'm
like it.
looking forward to your video, Nav. If you've already done one, I missed it. I'll go look after the show. But it looks like a cool knife.
Yep.
But I'm not sure about.
I'd buy the knife. I wouldn't buy the watch. Yeah, it's too much like that
Yeah, the
Seiko.
watch, the price on the watch makes no sense to me. And
Yeah.
again, guys, I'm not saying it's bad. I spent as much time watching as you just saw. That's all I've looked at it. But from a cursory look at the movement and the size and the specs, I'm not sure why it's $2,000. And we saw some of that at the watch show yesterday too, where we came away from something and we kind of talked about it. We're like, really? That was like $1,900? Like, why?
Yeah.
Not
I
that
mean, an
special.
ETA movement is a great movement. That's a high-end movement, but it's not that high end.
Oh, the knife is actually on sale for $340 right now. Not bad. Will knows about him. I figured Will knows about it. Will knows about everything. Every time I talk to that guy, he knows more about something that I didn't like. Yeah. Huge military driven company, special forces kind of things.
You know what I've noticed about military driven special forces type of things though?
Right.
Is that they're usually over dramatized. They're usually adequate pieces of equipment that are overpriced and overhyped.
Let me show this one again. I went to the other watches here.
I like the stainless one better.
Patriot, you know, but I don't know. They're all like $2,000. I don't get it.
Yeah, so for that kind of price, I would probably go somewhere else. Just saying.
You can get a lot of watch.
But hey, Dirk,
$2,000.
what if it's just $2,000 on their website and it's like 1,200 at the? Oh, look, there's one that's 985. Go to the cheap one. Oh, and that's the chronograph, of course.
Yeah, which should be more, but okay.
It's got
This
a
is
Ronda
a
movement.
quartz. But yeah, I don't know.
Cool. Something
I mean,
cool. I
it's
would need
cool.
to do more research to have a true opinion, but yeah, kind of
Yeah.
cool.
But
Didn't know that.
it's cool. I didn't know anything about them. So Naf, thanks for chiming in because I knew nothing about them. And when you're done with the knife, send it over. I'll take a look at it too.
Yeah, and then when you're done,
That's what we do. We share stuff around, and then we end up buying and selling stuff to each other. And we just trading knives and money between a group of YouTube folks and stuff. That's just how it works. We do that with the watch group too, with Will and a bunch of other guys. You're in a small Discord thing, and we just share. We trade money and watches around. Like it just stays. Like it's kind of silly
for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. Professor EDC, what up, my friend?
The professor's in the house, everyone. Everybody
now we can get the party started.
Very good. So as I was just going to finish up real quick. So yeah, new channel name. Hope you guys don't mind. Hope you don't think it's too weird, but it is what it is. And I think it just kind of caters to more watch and knife people. If it was just knife box and watches, I think it wouldn't have been kind of weird. And me and Dirk talked. I thought originally doing 2 channels was the way to go, but even you guys all voted 1 channel was the way to go. So that is what I did.
Yeah, it's just too hard to do a new channel. Like it's weird. I didn't want you to have to start all over again.
Yeah, I mean, but I think watch channels pick up a lot more. And I was always kind of curious because every once in a while I get a lot of my subscribers saying, hey man, I never get like notifications and I have hit the bell and all that stuff. Is that weird? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's the knife content, they're trying to hide it more or whatever it may be. Who knows?
Maybe.
And then there's some months like my watch videos just keep growing and growing. Those are always doing good. So I figured a watch channel would be, you know, the way to go.
Yeah, well, Professor EDC likes the name. I put a link to Alex's new channel. I mean, it's the same channel, just a different name. But if you're not familiar with it, it's there in the comments, as well as in the description of this video. It has both Alex's main channel, Watch and Carry, and my main channel, which is the, fancy name of, just me. So
I love those two pieces up on my banner, by the way. Those two pieces are so freaking cool. That's like that little JD Van Deventer pinstripe and the Yema Superman I've been drooling over for 6 months, and I finally pulled the trigger and bought. Yeah, like I'm very exciting. So yeah, y'all better be subscribed and belled and all that stuff. And then I'm gonna do I decided I'm gonna do a pretty gangster giveaway for 2000. When I hit 2K, we'll do something a little bit more special. The output of content is going to be kind of mild right now because, as I was telling Dirk, I'm looking into buying some new editing software. Not sure about the camera stuff yet, but kind of redoing things a little bit so that, as they come out, they'll be a little bit more fun. And I think the next video, Mr. Hinder 41 will enjoy, because I'm going to explain why the XM18 is not as good as a fire tack.
Ooh, the fire tack is pretty cool.
It is so cool.
I'm not going to lie. I got one in from Wild About Sporting Goods months and months, like a long time ago when they first came out. I don't know when they came out, but I got one pretty soon after that. And I was very tempted to just buy it from them and not ship it back. Yeah. But I exercised restraint. It's tough for me to do, but the fire tack is... I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably the best Hinderer they made.
Well, that's the title of my next video. The best.
Oh, jeez. Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin it.
It's okay. That just proves my point. It is the greatest knife that Hinderer ever made. And it's kind of weird to me that the XM18 is the one that like took off so heavy, and nothing against it. It's a great knife, but it's just not as much of a knife as a fire tack. So I'm going to enjoy doing that one. Yep.
Yeah, I think the consensus of the few people that are watching is that, yes, the fire tack is the bomb. So, yeah, I definitely enjoyed it for sure. It was a good knife. Great size, smaller than the XM18 and the XM24 that I owned at the time. But I think my tastes have evolved. And I've gone from, and I think everybody has, right? I was big into the overbuilt stuff, like, at one point. Had more Medfords than I want to admit, and had other big beefy stuff. And then those are all gone. I still have a couple of beefy things you'll see in a video tomorrow, but now I've got like the interface anti-beefy at 1.6 ounces. So, I've gotten into more normal size knives, I guess, if you will. So the fire tack, I think, fits great in that spot.
But the Peacemaker and all those other knives were the ones that originally like drew me to your channel, and that's the reason why we met in the first place.
And I still have the Peacemaker. It's in a drawer over here. It makes an appearance in a video tomorrow, so be sure to check that out. Definitely. And if you're not subscribed to the channels, go subscribe to me. Go to subscribe to Alex. Alex is getting close to 2,000. I'm getting close to 5,000. I have a giveaway planned for 5,000. I'll probably hit that in the next day or so, but the giveaway will happen like mid-May. I still need to pick up a watch for that. So.
Speaking of you picking up watches, there's a watch that you own that I was very tempted in buying myself.
Which one? Because I have a couple of watches.
I was really tempted at buying one of those 7 Sins watch. I really like that 7 Sins watch. It's pretty cool.
I have 2.
The automatic.
I have an automatic and I have a quartz. The quartz, I'm going to be honest, and I told them that when they sent it to me, they missed the mark by not putting any lume on it at all. They consciously chose to not do any lume on it. I'm like, really? Like, why? And it's only on a NATO, and I don't really like NATOs. But the automatic is cool. It's fun. It's got like the switchblade for the hand, so I kind of had to buy one. And the bracelet isn't that great, but the rest of the watch is really nice. And I really tried to take a Seiko bracelet and like make it fit and stuff, but the end links were different. Then I tried to just change the clasp. It's really the clasp that is really cheap and uncomfortable, or can be uncomfortable. But the watch itself is actually solid.
Yeah.
I don't remember the movement and stuff, but it's a solid watch. But yeah, it never gets worn at this point. So if you really want one, we can figure something out. I can send it to you. I have it right now just because I have it. But if you're looking to get one, we can hook you up, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're not that bad. They were like $3.99. They were
I think it was something like that. I think I got it for $3.49, and it was on sale when they first came out. They were like $3.49 with some sale, and I think it was like $3.12 shipped or something like that.
And they make a black and gold one now that looks really
did
intense.
they?
Yeah, I was like, it has like some, like on the cover of the ad is like some voodoo guy's face, and then the watch has got like, it's still all blacked out.
Yeah.
But like the center links are all gold, and then like some of the bezel is gold, and it looks kind of retro pimp. But it is pretty cool. And then they made one other one that was called was it the Rural Flame or something or other? That was there it is. Yeah. So that is the Seven Sins watch, which is something that Dirk actually turned me onto on one of his videos.
Yeah, so they changed their name from Seven Sins to Core Timepieces.
Yeah,
or it was Sharp Brothers.
Sharp Brothers
was what it was.
Yeah,
and then they changed it to Core Timepiece, which is fine. But yeah, I haven't looked at their site in a while, so that they've got some different stuff. And so the day wheel is, as you can see on this particular screen, it just goes between the 7 deadly sins, So I don't know. It's kind of a fun watch for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, this was the original one there that I have.
Yeah.
Oh, it's NH36. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just
it's
like
basically an SKX. If you guys are familiar with the Seiko SKX, it's basically that little bit different shape case, because I can't get the SKX bracelet to go on it, or I'd be super happy. I don't know. It's a fun watch.
It's 300 meters. That's pretty good for the price. I mean, that's that's pretty sealed up.
Yeah, it's a good watch. They're
Lumi Bright Sapphire. Pretty
and if I remember, I think the bezel is loomed also.
See, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I definitely dig that watch for sure.
And Professor EDC, you should be afraid. Don't. I didn't listen to Nick Shabazz. Alex didn't listen to me when I told him what Nick told everybody. Don't get into watches.
I heard Nick say that too, but you know what?
And here we are,
guys. Buy some watches; they're fun, and they're more conversational piece, more of a conversational piece than a knife. A lot of times, just because it's less threatening, so they're fun too. I'm not saying stop collecting knives, but if you've never tried a cool watch, you should try one.
Watches are cool. They can get expensive, but so can knives. So,
but not really though, because if you want to, you can just collect like a bunch of different SKXs, right? And they're like $100 and $200 a piece. You can get a cool watch for $200, just like people collect, Spyderco's only and things like that.
Yeah, so you can do it as cheap or as expensive as you let yourself get, just
Yes.
like knives.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Exactly.
no different than knives. I mean, granted, you aren't going to find very many $100,000 knives unless you're Greg Medford.
Greg
But
Medford.
outside of that, but you're going to find, if you want, a bunch of $100,000 watches. Yes.
Yes.
And up. So, yes,
Yes.
you can get more expensive watches than you can knives, but you can also collect $200-$300 watches just like you collect $200-$300 knives and be perfectly happy.
Yep. Absolutely. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm in the sub $1,000 range, or maybe a little bit above on some of them. And I'm plenty happy because I'm going to take my time rising through the journey. A lot of stuff to learn, man. It's unbelievable the amount of knowledge you need to really like get a grasp on everything that's out there. So, anyways, look who showed up. Welcome.
Hey,
It
if you
was a
can't get here on
fire.
time, just show up whenever you can. It's all good.
Exactly. But
Just get here when
if
you
you,
can.
he saved a baby, Dirk. That's the important part.
Right?
There was a fire and he was trying to save a baby. Wait, did you save the baby or did
Was
you
trying to
try?
save it from a baby. So he was trying. He didn't say he
Stay tuned
did.
for the reply.
And yeah, Will is absolutely right. Buy a Seiko between $400 and $750 and just enjoy it.
Yep. That's where
And there's
I'm
a
at.
lot of different options in the Seiko line. Seiko lineup of watches is kind of like the Spyderco of knives, if you will, because you've got some very slim and sleek Spydercos, and you've got some bigger and thicker, chunkier Spydercos. Same thing in SK in the Seiko lineup.
Yeah. I'm actually wearing a Seiko today. I'm wearing a King Turtle, the one with the frag pattern dial. And you get, this one has the 4R36 movement too. So it's got the better movement, sapphire, crystal, and everything. This thing was like $400.
And that's one of Will's favorite watches because he brought it the other day. He was wearing something different, but he brought a King Turtle. And yeah, he wears that a lot. And EDC for Fun was messing around with movie quote from Grandma's Boy.
I know.
Alex, are you going to need the new G-Shock GA2100 with Bluetooth and solar?
Oh, I know exactly which watch he's talking about. I don't know yet.
Well, what you are going to need is the Seiko Orange Dial GMT.
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, Seiko is coming out with a Seiko 5 GMT, and they're coming in 4 different colors. And they're coming in a bright orange dial with a nice little orange GMT hand and an upgraded Jubilee bracelet.
Yeah, I think the orange one is the one I might try to get, or I'll just wait until some people have it and then they sell it to me cheaper, because I know a bunch of people in our Discord group, or in Random Rob's Discord, are going to buy it, and then in about a week or two, they're going to be tired of it and they're going to sell it. So I may just wait. I may talk to a couple of people that I know are going to buy it and just tell them I'll take it from them when they're done.
Yes.
I'm trying to go on the cheap, man. I got some vacations and trips to do this year, so I'm trying to.
That ain't going on the cheap. They're like products that still cost a lot of money after they're second hand.
Yeah, but and those will probably be in that 500 range. Which for a GMT Seiko 5, that's going to be a good deal. I think those will be
$430.
$430? I hadn't heard a price.
430 is what people are guessing, anyways.
Could be, yeah. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit over the weekend, and we were all like, in that 500-ish range.
Yeah, but that will be a great piece. Nobody knows if it's a true GMT movement or if it's the other one, but it looks like a true GMT. Kind of has that Rolex.
I'm guessing it's going to be. I mean, we don't know, but Yeah, nobody knows. There's a bunch of speculation, and I'm not going to get into whole speculation stuff, but probably be a true GMT, and that would be awesome for 500 or under.
Yep, I agree. It's going to be quite a bit of watch for the price.
Yeah. And I was not wearing a watch today. I was just hanging around the house. Plus my tattoo's still healing some, so
Right.
thought it would be more healed by now, but it's not.
So you got two interfaces, didn't you?
I did get two VC Edge interfaces, and the full dress version, and I'm looking over here, trying to pull up those other Seikos, but the full dress version had to go back down to Jason. And once it's back, then I will post up the unboxing and then do full. I'll do a little bit different video on it. It won't be like a whole spec video and stuff, but I will do a full video on that. It's pretty. If you think this normal one here is cool, the full dress version is
Nuts.
beyond cool.
Very cool. Hey,
Yeah.
Jiro. Seiko and Casio is where it all starts. The gateway watches, which eventually leads to Swiss watches in bankruptcy. That's exactly the direction I've
He's
gone.
not wrong.
I actually, I started, as the main watch that kind of started kicking me off was the one we traded, which was the Arnie, right? And I'm like, wait,
Mhm.
I think I want another one. And then after that, I got the Casio from Jiro, the titanium G-Shock, and the Tron Square too. And then now I'm playing around with Hamiltons and other stuff, which is all a bunch of Swiss watches. And there's only one step left, Dirk, and the last word on that sentence is bankruptcy. So, oh no,
Jiro's not wrong. It
Yes.
is a slippery slope,
Yes.
and that's how it works. All right, so we'll quickly share this here. I don't really
You
do
found
Reddit.
it.
I'm not sure. They're not really announced yet, these watches. So you're finding like leaked stuff and whatnot. So that's why there's only limited information. But this is
how
the
cool
three
is
that
that?
they're gonna have. I think they're pretty cool looking. Upgraded bracelets.
Super cool.
Orange, blue, and black. Yeah, I kind of want one.
Yep.
470 euros, maybe. Is what somebody is thinking here on Reddit, which I don't know how to use.
That's like $540 or something.
So yeah, it's in that $500-ish range, but they look pretty cool. And yeah,
and I'm gonna get one
for $500 for a GMT, that's pretty awesome.
legit.
Yeah, that's totally cool. So I do enjoy my one GMT that I have now, which was just a little bit more than $500. Okay, it was a lot more than $500, but it's a whole lot of a different watch. So
Yeah, I'm excited to see that one. And yeah, GMTs are fun.
did they say when they're coming out? I don't think we know. I don't think they've announced when they're coming out.
My source said that they're coming out in, I believe they said July of 2022.
Okay, Watch Chris did a YouTube video on it.
That's my source.
So he has a video. There is a video on YouTube that you can look. I mean, I have it here. I can throw the link up here in a minute.
Yeah, Watch Chris is a great channel. I watch a lot. But yeah, anything new in the knife world that we should be excited about?
So after we're done, you can go look at the comments and go watch his channel. Don't click off of the live and go watch that video. Wait till after. But I put it there in the comments anyway.
Yes.
What's new in the knife world? I don't know. I'm not that guy that stays up on all the latest news.
What's new in the knife world, Knife Sergeant? You tell me, Professor. What do you guys see that's the new trend right now that you guys are seeing in the production world, you know, customs are always customs. But oh yes, that's a good knife to bring up. The so Brown Knives has a new model that came out. I did see this knife. I want to say it's only a month old or maybe 2 months old. I can't remember. But it is quite a beefy knife, and I think it's one of the better knives he's designed in quite a while.
Are these them or are these the older ones?
Nope, those are them, the FSD. You can click on the pictures, it'll come
sold
up.
out in a second, probably.
Yeah, well, so the way that he does,
okay.
yeah, it's pretty cool. The way he does his stuff is you just have to be subscribed to his mailer, and then you'll get the notice before the drop happens. And then if you're fast enough, then you can slam one down, but you're always racing to get one. He
Got
does
it.
it
Okay.
only on his website. Yeah.
And that's how Jason at VC Edge does it also. There's an email that went out like a day or 2 days before he did a drop. And then you just had to be quick because his sold out in 7 minutes. I don't know about Brown Knives.
Brown Knives sells out. Yeah.
Not even a company I'm familiar with, but
so
I like the milling on the pocket clip and the scale, how it kind of just like disappears together because it kind of like the milling is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, he does a lot of CNC stuff. A couple years back, I had the Brown Exponent, which is a front flipper that he used to make. I had 2 of those, but I kind of had problems with them, and I didn't have a great interaction with him either. So I kind of never pursued that brand after that. They're very cool. I mean, they're very kind of precision made, but to me it just had like it's I don't know, like the lock bar would, you know, kind of rattle off the spring. There was just kind of all like a bunch of stupid little stuff, and on both of them. So but I think this knife is going to be quite a bit better than the other stuff he made in the prior years. And then the very first model was pretty awesome. It was called the Servo, I think, if I remember right. Yeah, sold under 1 minute.
In under a minute.
Yeah, he sells out fast, but he only drops
Jason
like
needs to get up on it. He had 40 and it took 7 minutes. Man, 7 minutes.
Yeah, like he only drops like 20, 25 knives at a time, you know?
Okay, what does NAF say? Pretty much the Brown. Okay, upcoming Winter Blade Company production factor are all the.
You know, okay, so that Winter Blade Co. guy, he has posted so many production pictures of really cool stuff that he does. For you guys who aren't familiar, he makes these knives that have a magnetic mechanism.
What?
So he's making, yeah, it's all powered by magnets. So it's a.
What'd you talk about, Willis?
Yeah.
EDC for fun just says, is Winter the guy who? Well, he.
Yeah,
is Winter the blade, the magnet locking mechanism?
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about, man. Come on.
I don't. What is this magnet stuff?
It's witchcraft. It's witchcraft. You can find him on Instagram. That's the best place to go.
Magnet driven. Oh, his site doesn't even work right.
So you know, like he's like, coming soon, guys, and he posts another really cool knife. But I never have ever seen these things actually get made. I think I've talked to him a few times on Instagram. He's a very nice guy, but I'm still waiting to see when it actually is going to come out.
So has any of his knives ever come out?
No, not that I'm aware of. I don't think he's produced a knife yet.
Does anybody know? I mean, NAF's talking about it and stuff like that. Does anybody know if any of his knives are actually out there?
I think I've seen a couple people do videos of a prototype. I think prototypes getting passed around.
How come I didn't get one?
I don't know.
Never mind. Let's not go there.
You didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, so they're not doing their job very well. Sharing with me. I mean, there's like 11 people watching. That could have
yeah,
been 11 people we could have helped out, but
right.
no.
Yeah, we got to let the people know,
All right. Well, enough of him. If he doesn't really have stuff that's out on the market, then it's all smoke and mirrors, and I don't really care.
Yeah, no, but it is kind of interesting, I think, nonetheless.
Best Tech is producing the Factor. Should be
All right,
available in a
Dirk,
month or so.
you want to pull that up, Dirk?
Hmm.
The Best Tech Factor. I'm not a Best Tech knife person, to tell you the truth. The only one that I liked was the one that Nolan made. Um, the what was that thing called?
The War Crime was
The
it?
War
No,
Cry.
the
That's
War
what it was.
Cry. War Cry. That's right.
Yeah, that was a good Best Tech produced knife, but it had like the skiff bearings in it, so I think that made all the difference.
It's not the Best Tech. It's Best Tech is going to make the Factor, which is from the Magnet Company.
Oh,
Winter
I
Knife.
got you. I
Winter
got
Knife.
you.
So okay. So no, I'm
I
not
got
finding
you.
anything on the Best Tech thing in there. I guess you got to go to the Winter thing and
So
see it.
Best Tech is gonna make Winter Blade Co.'s production knife.
Got
Got
it.
it.
Okay. Now, yeah, okay, whatever. I guess I'll find out about them at some point. I don't know.
What happened to people making knives with Wii and Riot? I know Riot's like backlogged like for a million years.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know about Wii though. I don't see them OEMing much stuff. I could be wrong, but Hey, Dirk, look, Professor EDC wanted to make sure and correct you and say 13 people, bitches.
All right. Well, cool. Yeah, well,
Uh,
and Will Carey was talking about superlative knives. I just found them also. I don't know much about them either.
oh, that's kind of cool. It's a native pattern, like slip joint looking thing, but it looks like a front flipper. The Cannibal, huh? Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting looking.
It I mean, it's cool that it's a bolster lock and all, but it looks a lot like the little Peñas. Looks a lot
Mm-hmm.
like there's a few of those guys doing that front flipper, like the Real Steel G5 Metamorphs, those sorts of things. I think it falls in
Right.
that category. Pretty cool. A lot of money for a little Chinese made front flipper. $300 in
Yeah.
today's market. That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure they have other models too. This was the first thing I found just Googling. So, I mean, I'm not sure, but
I mean, if you analyze it, you got titanium, micarta, and M390. It's a recipe for
right.
$250 for me.
Yeah, so 298, that's not so far out of the
Nah,
realm. I
nah,
mean,
nah, nah, nah.
you're under 300, so I think you're good. Oh yeah, he sent me a thing on my phone. I saw that on my phone. I guess I got to go to their Instagram and see. I guess it's part owned by Pena. And I think Will was talking about that yesterday or something. He mentioned
Oh
something.
yeah, I think I read about this on Facebook.
So,
Peña's
yeah,
doing a
we'll have to do some more
collaboration.
checking on that one.
I think it's a three-way collaboration. Yeah, Peña, Oser, and I don't know who Garcia Knives is, but I did see something on this on Facebook recently. Kind of cool. My opinion, it's too much like I mean, it is a Peña, but it's not different enough.
Yeah, they may have a different models or something too. I don't know, but we'll get more information. Come back on that maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So, who do you think, Dirk, right now is the best custom knife maker in the world?
Oh Jesus!
I just wanted to say something silly for once. So,
You can't. Like that's not even a thing.
no. How about who's the best country of knife making in the world? Top 3. Is America there?
Probably in the top 3 would be America, let's say, in no particular order. It's tough for me because I just filmed some of yours from Cambodia and from Poland today. So now I'm kind of stuck on Poland and Cambodia. Like, so my brain isn't quite working for that. But I think a lot of good stuff comes out of Russia. I think
Yes.
South Africa, as Professor EDC just said. I think Professor EDC, maybe he nailed it.
Yeah, that's kind of my 3 right there.
And the casual cutter is not far behind.
And Black Snow Custom, that would be Israel, by the way.
So there you go. I mean, I think South Africa, hands down,
Taiwan.
is there.
Hey, there's some really good stuff that comes out of Taiwan, actually. Where's the other 2, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna say U.S., South Africa,
Yeah,
and Russia and Israel, because Black Snow stuff that's off the hook.
yeah, it's
Like,
good stuff.
I think yeah, U.S., South Africa, and Russia are probably the top 3 custom countries.
Yeah, and the Polish
And in
are
no
actually pretty
particular
good.
order. I mean, if I had to pick an order, I would put South Africa top.
Yeah, I like them too.
Because the bang for your buck, what you get for $1,000 in South Africa is double that here in the United States.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Roughly, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, you get a lot, and then the customer service is a lot better too. Even though they're way over there, they have less incentive technically to be giving people across the world great customer service, because it's not like I'm going to drive over there and come and see you if you don't do the right thing, right? But yet they still do. They always do the right thing, and that's every experience I've ever had with every South African knife maker.
The casual cutter says, yeah, that's the only maker in Israel that I know of. That's why I said just his
There's
name.
a bunch. There's a bunch from over there, man. There's a bunch. That's another place where you don't want to sleep on it. There's a lot of good knife makers from Israel too. As a matter of fact, there's another guy that Black Snow works with a lot. I don't know if he's kind of like an apprentice or something, but there's a couple of those guys over there that I've been following for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Good knife makers, and Poland has a bunch of good knife makers too.
Yeah, I filmed the Katie knives.
Yeah, you like that one?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like it's just plain Jane, but nice. Like,
it's crisp.
Yeah, and you could just go and work with that and be like, that's a total like user type knife in my mind. It's a custom, it's great, but it's, usable. Tennessee Mike says, does South Africa have any good options around 250?
They do if you like slip joints. If you like slip joints, you can find like custom stuff around that price. Locking knives, maybe a lock back, because when they're working at a lot of the South African knife makers over there still do like a lot of old school stuff, and they still work with a lot of old school materials. So when you're at that price range, that's mostly what I see around there. Some lockbacks and slip joints, some traditional stuff,
Okay. Yeah, Alex has a lot of familiarity with South African makers. My experience with South African makers is really just Alex's knives that he sent me.
And then you had a bunch from Chris too.
And I've had a bunch from our friend Chris. And I've had a great experience with them, because some of those makers, after I posted the videos, they actually just sought me out and reached out to me on Instagram and said, hey, thanks for making a video like that. You didn't have to go out of your way to do that type of thing, which I've never had an American make. Well, I've had a couple American.
And then he emailed me. And then he emailed me and said, hey, thanks for sending that to your friend to have it reviewed. So you reached out to both of us. That was
which is just
that was Kosi Steam Camp.
Yes. Which
Yeah.
is uncommon. I mean, I think I don't know. I was just really impressed by that. And so that really kind of turned me on more to South African makers.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
Nav Sergeant says France makes some pretty good knives too. I don't
They
know. They
do.
made Alex too. And, I don't know.
Oh yeah, my people and my country are we're love and hated always. It's just one of those things.
Professor, thanks for joining in for a little bit. We appreciate it. Go have supper with the wife. That's much more important than listening to us ramble about stuff.
Absolutely.
Will Carey, Alex, got a question. Who would you go to get a custom PM2 scale made? Looking to get a set made from Zircuti or Black Damascus? I was supposed to ask you that because Will asked me to ask you that like a week or two ago. So
Nice.
I'm right
All
on it.
right.
I'm on it, man.
um there's a couple guys. There's a guy called Menton, Mentom, or I'm sorry, Menton, that is making scales that are sold on Knife Center. But if you go on his actual website, he makes some zirconium scales that are like oil slicked and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Black Damascus, gonna have to kind of Google that a little bit. Maybe somebody, I would probably look at eBay because that's where like a lot of the Russian people make a lot of like the beads and Damascus stuff. They put it on eBay all the time. That's their way of doing it, because they don't have all of them don't have access to PayPal like other countries do right now. Not at all.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
So Black Damascus, you might want to maybe even reach out to this Mentone guy. I think I've seen he's made like some Damascus ones before, but I'm not sure about Black Damascus. But
Okay.
I'm sure it can be done.
It's an option because he's got a PM2 that came here that it's in a box that I got to give to him that he wants to, build up. And
That's gonna
you're
make the knife
you're the
heavy.
you're the PM2 guru. So yeah.
I am not a PM2 guru, but I will tell you this: those scales will make your knife heavy as shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now because remember, like the PM2 is not like the handle to blade ratio is not that great. It's got a relatively smaller blade. The handle's pretty chunky on it, so anytime you do even titanium or like brass or copper scales on some of those PM2s, I've handled a few. They're super heavy, man. They're like a brick in your pocket. So that would be my only warning. If you don't do carbon fiber or one of those types of resonated materials, it's going to be a heavy sucker. And some people don't care, So.
Yeah, and who was it? Was it Nav Sergeant that bought the brass Hellraiser?
Oh
Somebody we
yeah,
know bought.
I remember somebody did. Mentone Boss. That's the guy I was talking about. This guy knows.
Okay.
Mentone
Yes.
Boss has the cool scales. Mentone is the or Meton. Meton. That guy. Go check this guy out if you want some of those kind of really unique stuff. He did some topography, pattern scales too, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Casual Cutter says a copper PM2 was heavy.
A brick. Yeah.
A brick. So just something to be aware about. I have a copper or a brass flashlight, 18650 battery flashlight, and it's heavy. And it's for sale.
And zirconium is going to be up there in the weight like copper and brass and all that.
Yeah.
It's going to be
not saying don't
heavy.
do it. It'd be cool.
It would be cool.
It's going to be a little heavier than the PM2 normally is. That's all.
But I think a zirconium one would be kind of cool because it'd make the slick handles, slide in and out of the pocket. Be kind of nice.
That would be pretty cool. The problem I have with zirconium is, well, most of the zirconium that I have is like a polished zirconium. And so it's super fingerprint magnet. And it smudges and it just looks like it looks great until you touch it, and then it's not so great. But I
Mhm.
have one that's like a matte zirconium also, and I like that a lot better.
Yeah. Yep, I agree with that.
I like it, Will. Make it a tad insane, much like the other interface that I have coming. It's maybe more than a tad insane.
Yeah, no, that is a pretty good idea. I think like what makes the PM2
Blasted Zerk would be great. Yeah,
that would be cool too.
yeah.
But
Polished Zerk is pretty, but smudgy and magnety. Fingerprint. It's great when you wipe it off, but not great after that.
right. But one thing I want to let Will know too is another thing aside from weight, the scales are very squared on the edges on a PM2. So if you're buying
Mm-hmm.
aftermarket scales, you better hope that they're good and that they contour the edges, they chamfer them well, because or else it's going to make for an uncomfortable knife. So that's why I tend to like the more contoured type scales, where like if you've handled one of my custom PM2s, I use the Aramis
Yep.
scales. Those have been the best. I mean, they almost like have finger grips in them. They feel
Yeah.
really cool, and the knife weighs like nothing. So
Yeah,
that's
they're
kind
pretty
of a fun
nice.
thing. Yeah.
So the casual cutter went and weighed his ZT0620 with copper scales, and it comes in at
9 ounces.
9 ounces.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's less than the Phil Harvey Peacemaker.
Right.
Just
right.
gonna say. Here's somebody else with a PM2 frag. Dark Gravity. I have a frag titanium scales on my PM2, and I love the feel. I'm also a big guy though.
Yep.
Will's not a small guy, so
Yep.
he can handle something good.
Yep. Yeah, but it does change the whole feel of the knife when you start messing with it like that. That's and some people might say, wow, like I like how substantial it feels, right? Some people might say like, holy crap, this thing's super heavy. And like I've held the copper and a titanium PM2 aside from like my carbon fiber ones, and the titanium one was kind of nice. It was a bit I mean, it's kind of felt like the same weight as like one of Ed's mid-tech Hellraisers almost.
Okay, yeah.
Not quite as thick, but a little bit more of that same weight. And
Right.
then but the copper one was like too much. Like it just, you could feel it there while you're walking, or like the pockets like drooping, it's pulling down.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to
it's a
clarify,
lot more.
casual cutter ZT0620 has just one copper scale. The
Right.
show side. The lock side is still just titanium.
Right. Yes, that's a good point that people
Just
must
so
realize.
that's one scale jumps
Two
up in the
scales.
weight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the PM2 will have two scales, but just something, yeah. We
What's
carry
up,
big knives.
Boston? He's a cool dude.
We're just wrapping up, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
so
yeah.
What do you want to finalize this episode with, Dirk? What's your words of wisdom? Oh, you know what we should wrap this up with is our schedule change.
If you're asking me for words of wisdom, you must be in a bad way today.
The schedule change, right? So in 2 weeks we will not be on. We will be on in 3 weeks, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna skip the 8th, and we're gonna go to May 8th. We're skipping, and we're gonna go to May 15, just because I'm out of town on May 8th still.
Yep.
So it'll be same time, same channel, May 15, with a guest. That we've got a couple of options. We just got to coordinate some schedules and make sure who is what, and we'll announce that prior, that week before. So
sounds good, man.
But yeah, thanks everybody for coming this week, and we will see you again in 3 weeks, and have some more fun with a guest.
Sounds good. See ya.
Thanks, guys.